No importa cómo se votó ayer por la primera vez, se votó que sí para mudar para adelante un proyecto que no tiene la infraestructura, sea ayer o en unos días. Al final de la cuenta, mi contrincante ha votado 100% de las veces sí en votaciones para más desarrollo. En cuanto yo no he votado que sí siempre miro el desarrollo y veo el impacto que va a tener, la densidad que va a tener y tomo la decisión basado en esos estudios.
I have a couple questions, actually. Just for the record, this is the first, where's staff? Is Javi behind you?
Javier, it's time to come on up.
This is the first of two votes, right?
This is correct. First reading. Second reading will happen after we transmit the amendment to the state land planning agency and receive the comments from different reviewing agencies.
So there's still a chance for this council or any other council to actually vote against or not grant what the applicant is requesting, right? Although, and it's something I want to make very clear, because a lot of times, and trust me, for 3 years, I stood on the other side of that podium and I fought about many projects that were being approved in what I and many other residents believed were the wrong areas of the city. And some of those projects are going to see certain impacts now because of where they were built, residential projects I'm talking about. I also, as soon as I joined this council in 2016, we had to face a lawsuit of an applicant that was denied rights to him by law because at that moment there were the council denied additional units that were already promised to the applicant, not promised, I should say, that were already part of the applicant's rights under contract by what the city was offering, and they had filled they had checked all the conditions to receive those extra units. So,
Claudia puede responder.
Es verdad, han habido votos al no, votos totalmente políticos, como el que se hizo en 2016 durante la elección, antes de esa elección, cuando se votó no a un proyecto que ya estaba autorizado para tener más viviendas, y el Consejo en ese momento, incluyendo mi contrincante, votó que no por razones políticas, y eso lo único que trajo fue una demanda a la ciudad, un costo al dinero.
I want to make sure that and to leave it very clear on the dais, that we are here to make decisions for the right reasons and making sure that we are being fair, not just to the residents, of course. Number one, I live on that property attached to the golf course. So it does affect me. And everything that golf course does and everything that property does affects me on a daily basis, because I only have one way out of my condominium, and that's right through 236, right next to this golf course. So that being said, I believe that staff is making the right recommendation, and I believe the applicant has agreed to getting the extra traffic studies and the extra steps to make sure that we have more information regarding the impact of the traffic, and that should include if all units are occupied as well. I mean, again, yes, we assume a lot of things and we hope for a lot of things, but we have to assume that if you're going to build it, it could be filled out 100% by full-time residents, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So they have a right already to build a large number of units, correct? Somebody's phone? Good? Okay. They have a right to build a certain number of units, right?
They have to right to develop the property under the CMU land use designation.
Perfect. So they're asking for the extra units, and we're asking them to give us more information regarding the traffic. And then we can make a final decision come January, February, whenever they come back.
That's correct.
Correct? Okay. So what I want to make sure is that we have a lot of information in the packet. We have the information that you guys did regarding the impacts. We have the information of the number of units. I believe if the applicant wants to come out, you did reach out to residents?
Sorry, I didn't mean to push him.
Let's not go down that road
Yeah,
again,
it
please.
seemed like a little push,
Let's not go
but
down
I didn't
that.
feel any contact. I just wanted, yes, council member, councilwoman, as a matter of fact, not only did we have the one mandated workshop, we had an additional workshop over and above what is mandated, and you are correct. This is the first step. first reading, there's transmittal, there's comment by reviewing agencies at the state level, comes back to second reading. Of course, you have the DTPW review, which is part of the recommendation of approval by your professional staff, and then you have the zoning and site plan application. So this is step one. Actually, step three, if you count the two workshops that we had, the voluntary one and, well, they were both voluntary, but the
Thank you.
mandatory,
Nobody was.
the mandatory and the second one. Thank you.
And I appreciate that. And I do want to state something. Those zoning meetings with the residents, I was proud as a resident to bring it to the council via referendum. And they put it on as a requirement that before any any rezoning that's brought to the council, it must go to the residents. So thank you for doing that. And I'm happy that we can do that to inform the residents. So as much as this is an impact, as much as everything that's going to happen is going to happen, but I do believe that we have the information that we need to move this forward right now so you guys can go to the next step. And then we'll make a final decision when that comes through. I do want to thank staff for the details that went into this. This has been a long time in the works. It's been months, I know, because I started getting all the calls and everything when this started coming out in the news. It's not what came out originally. I hope everybody takes a look at it, and I hope everybody looks at the real information and the numbers and everything that's out there, and understand that we have to protect the tax dollars going forward. We need to make sure that the decisions we make here are not political, that they are to ensure that it's fair to the people coming out, to the applicants, to the residents, and to the businesses.
Es verdad, han habido votos al no, votos totalmente políticos, como el que se hizo en 2016 durante la elección, antes de esa elección, cuando se votó no a un proyecto que ya estaba autorizado para tener más viviendas, y el Consejo en ese momento, incluyendo mi contrincante, votó que no por razones políticas, y eso lo único que trajo fue una demanda a la ciudad, un costo al dinero público, y esa persona pudo construir. Entonces tenemos que tomar en cuenta las leyes también y no solamente promesas,
Ok,
compromisos.
tenemos...
Clarify for me exactly what we're actually doing if we go from CMU to DMU today. What is the next step? It goes to who?
We have to, if it's approved today, we have to prepare a transmittal package to the state land planning agency and the different reviewing agency at the state level and at the regional level.
Okay, so
They have 30 days to review the application and provide comments, objections, or a letter in support. If we don't receive any objections, we then place the item on the agenda to second reading and have further conversations with the applicant on whether we take the rezoning to DMU and the site plan before council so that both are heard on the same hearing, but that's up to be determined.
okay, so but let me go back a second. Assuming it comes back for a second reading, the possibility exists that a council can still vote down the change from CMU to DMU, correct?
That there is a possibility.
Okay. Does the future city council have an obligation if today we accept this conceptual plan? Well, let's go back a second. When you come back if it comes back for a second time, the conceptual plan at that point doesn't, the city council has the prerogative to say no to the conceptual plan we're talking about today. Is that correct?
They may.
Okay. So they're not excluded from saying we don't agree when it comes back.